Collectively, as a generation, we have normalized far too many things that I think should not be normalized. A lot of influencers lately have started a series where they talk about anti-brainrot, or there's this particular video essayist on YouTube that I know, and she has done something similar to this, and I thought it was the most incredible thing ever. I know me making a video about this is not going to really change anything, and these are just my unpopular opinions. Nobody really cares about them, but if I don't talk about it, and if people who believe in this don't talk about it, who will, right? If we don't put an end to this, if we don't speak up about matters like this, who will? So if you're a friend of mine, you would know that I really despise the girl math trend. I always believed, and I still do believe, that it feeds misogyny. Well, obviously. As well as girl math, there's also the I'm just a girl trend. I never liked that because it also infantilizes women and it makes us appear dumb and helpless and stupid, and we need a man to mansplain things to us, right? Because we're so silly. We don't know how to do 2 plus 2. We don't know how to. We can't understand anything. All we do is just bows and matcha and labubus. Because I'm just a girl and I have these silly little things in my girl dinners, and then that's all I am. But I actually just need a man to help me understand these things. And whenever I would express this, my friends would be like, but it's just a trend, it's funny, it's fun. I'm like, yeah, it's funny. It is fun. It's all fun and games until you realize that you're actually enabling misogyny. In the long run, this particular trend that you participated in could be the cause of so many things, like perhaps the wage gap is not disappearing because we women are still belittling ourselves, and we are feeding the idea that we are less than men and we don't deserve to be paid as much as them because we're dumber, we're just silly little girls, we don't know how to do anything. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? And I kind of just swore to myself that I'm never going to participate in this trend, and this is not, I don't think this is being pick me. I think this is actively choosing not to participate in something that will harm me and my entire species. Another thing that we have been sugarcoating as self-love and self-confidence is self-centeredness. I can't be the only one who thinks that influencers, like a particular one who's been involved in a cheating scandal and going back to her ex and blah blah blah, I felt like she was promoting narcissistic behavior and sugarcoating it to be self-love or self-confidence. It is not self-love when you think of yourself as the center of the universe and you're just cruel to everyone around you. That is not self-love. I think we should be preaching kindness. We should be preaching kindness to ourselves and to others instead of promoting these narcissistic behaviors. Like, are you cutting people off because you love yourself, or are you cutting people off because you're just a bad person? I believe this should be a topic for another video. Honestly, like, I could go on and on about it, but for now, that's enough. The topics are getting serious, so I put my glasses on. The third thing I want to talk about is nonchalance. Why are you afraid of double texting? Why are you afraid of expressing your emotions? Why are you afraid of being perceived? Or why are you afraid of being perceived as someone who cares? Why are you afraid of being perceived as someone who can show love and feel emotion? What has happened to us? If you know me, you know I love double texting and texting in like all caps and with 3 exclamation marks at the end. I simply cannot do nonchalance. I'm sorry. Why must I act cool? Honestly, I understand where it comes from. And I think it's because obviously we're all afraid of getting hurt, and because no one really wants anything serious lately, which is my next point. But since nobody wants anything serious, we also don't want to be perceived as wanting something serious, or wanting a friendship, or wanting to spark some kind of bond with this person. So You know, it's better if we act nonchalant and we as if we don't really want to talk. I feel like I sound so millennial when I'm talking about these things. But my next point, and the thing that pisses me off the most, is situationships. What the frick is a situationship? I mean, we've all been there, right? At some stage, we have all been there. Even if we refuse to admit, or even if I refuse to admit that I was ever in a situationship, I think I have been, okay? I think we have all been in some kind of situationship at some point. But why? Why have we stooped so low so as to be so afraid of commitment? Why are we all being like Ken in the Barbie movie? We all want some kind of low commitment, long distance,
your long-term distance, low commitment, casual girlfriend.
Just because it's convenient? What happened to love? What happened to romance? What happened to, I know, yearning? What happened to actually caring about somebody? No one really wants to put in an effort to maintain a relationship. Is it just me who's feeling that way lately? No one really has the time or the attention span to even continue a conversation. No one really wants to make the first move, you know? Even men don't want to make the first move lately. They want the women to make the first move. But anyway, I believe I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but another thing we're normalizing is brain rot. Do you sit and think about what brain rot means? Do you understand that it's literally rotting your brain? And we think it's funny. We think it's funny to rot the only thing that is pretty much keeping us alive and going, and the only thing we use to survive every single day. Why is it funny to be stupid and call it brain rot? Why are the most random, inexplicable, incomprehensible, what's the word? See, like, we are turning meaningless words into a meme. We're allowing, like, the younger generation, like Gen Alpha, to just be stupid and get away with it and, like, you know, romanticize it. Like, I've got multiple nephews and nieces and they're all considered Gen Alpha. And when they show me, like, brain rot stuff that I have also not encountered, and I feel old when they do that, but I'm just like, I look at that stuff and I'm like, the other day my nephew showed me that dancing cow meme, and I believe it's old now, but I was like, what? Like, what is Smurf Cat? What are we doing? Why are we allowing this to happen to the younger generation? Why don't we promote, like, intellectualism? Why don't we promote good stuff, good content? Why are we promoting stupid little stuff that literally makes no sense? Why are we normalizing it? And why do we consider it cool when someone brings up brain rot or talks in brain rot? Like, I don't think that should be the new normal. Even if you're talking to a guy and he just speaks in brain rot or sends you brain rot reels, I think that would immediately give me the ick. And it has given me the ick. Like, I'm sorry, this is just not made for me, I guess. I sound so millennial when I say this, but do you understand what you're doing to yourself? Practically destroying your future with your own hands, and you think it's funny. And of course, this video cannot go without talking about labubus. Or okay, let's say overconsumption. That includes buying labubus. Consumerism. Why are we promoting consumerism? Why are we feeding capitalism? Why are we buying unnecessary shit? Why do I need to buy that particular sweater for fall because fall is coming next month? Why do I need to have this particular code of Shein item? Buying any overpriced matcha every single day. I might not even like matcha, but I just do it because, well, it's trending. I don't even like reading that book, but I bought it because it's trending. I don't even like labubus or any kind of other keychains on my bags, but I'm just doing it because it's trending. I'm just lying to myself and I don't realize it. Do you really think a labubu looks good, or are you only buying it because it's trendy? Do you really want that keychain on your bag? Like, oh my gosh, it's not just labubus at this point. It's like so many different types of collectible little animal things or keychains that people are putting on their bags. And yes, they do look cute, but why are there so many of them, and why are they all so overpriced? Why do we all need to have those keychains in our bags to feel validated or to feel included? Honestly, I don't think a labubu looks good. Like, if you think it looks good or cute, that's okay. That's everyone has a right to an opinion, all right? I personally find them really terrifying. I think they look scary and they're pretty demonic, if you ask me. But if you like it, that's completely alright. But just ask yourself, do you really like it? Or are you doing it because it's trending? We're all consuming such fast-paced things. I find that I have absolutely no patience to even watch a YouTube video. Like, I'm making this video right now, but I don't think I would rewatch it fully. I would probably watch it on like 2x. I know for a fact that my attention span has reduced, and I think all of our attention spans have reduced. And why is that normal? Why? That is not a good thing. It's like an epidemic, and it needs to be resolved, guys. It's like we are collectively allowing these things, and we don't realize that we are harming ourselves and our future. And I apologize for the sudden change of angle, but my device had to be charged. So, like, do we understand that we are basically hindering our own potential, and we are harming ourselves and stopping ourselves from becoming better, or from becoming smarter, or from thinking? We are basically not able to think anymore by ourselves. We use ChatGPT to help us think because our brains are so rotted. I don't think we have the capacity to even think anymore. This one is pretty controversial, but as an Indian girl who has grown up and witnessed what housewives go through, I don't think we should be romanticizing this whole trad wife or SAHMS culture. In no way am I belittling women who choose to do that. I think it is completely up to the woman to decide, and I think that is what feminism enables. Although a lot of these supposed trad wives say the opposite. A lot of them start criticizing modern feminism, and their belief is basically that they are going against modern feminism and being housewives. But I personally believe that feminism is what enabled you to do that. If feminism didn't exist, you wouldn't have the choice to be a stay-at-home mom. You wouldn't have the choice to be a housewife, you know? And working women wouldn't have the choice to be working women either. I am not belittling either of those two options. I think every woman should be given the choice to choose what she wants to do with her future. No matter what path you choose, I think both paths are equally important and equally special, and I think to each their own. That is all. But the only problem I have with the romanticization of the trad wife culture or the stay-at-home mother thing is that they are promoting dependence on men, and in this day and age, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's good for you. I'm only saying this as someone who has grown up around women who are forced to be housewives. I think it's only like the fairy tale that they portray to be on Instagram if the man is like an actual provider, or if he's really rich and if he's really caring and things like that. I don't think any woman can achieve that kind of lifestyle that they portray online if her husband is not this supportive kind, or if he's not very rich. I said it, okay? I believe that a woman should be financially independent, even if she's a traditional wife or she's whatever she is. She needs to have her own source of income, and that makes the difference.
What I will say is a lot of this content you've been seeing recently about stay-at-home girlfriends, stay-at-home wives, they have a job. These women are not stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home girlfriends, stay-at-home, insert here. They have a job, and that job is content creation. They're employed, and that employment is that of being an influencer. Furthermore, actually, and I don't care if anybody jumps me about this because I will rest on this hill, argue with your mama, relying on a man for your financial security and for your survival, your existence, is a one-way ticket to hell. And if you don't believe me, you need to ask the stay-at-home wives that when I was a tech recruiter were trying to re-enter the workforce because their husbands up and left them with nothing and left them with the kids and left them with a whole bunch of financial mess to deal with and no income. And they were struggling to get back in the workforce. I will rest on this hill. You want to be a stay-at-home girlfriend, you want to be a stay-at-home wife, baby, this is Burger King, you can have it your way, but you better get yourself a little flexible career, you better get yourself a little business, a little side hustle, you need to be bringing some income in, point blank, period.
So yeah, like I said, I absolutely support any decision that a woman makes for herself. It is her life, but I believe that she should still not depend on the man completely financially. Last but not least, on today's video, I want to talk about how we're kind of being overly dramatic and overly sensitive. Like, I feel like no one is able to handle even the tiniest bit of criticism, and I know it's not our fault. We as a generation have collectively stopped a lot of things. Like, we have dismantled like a lot of offensive behavior that used to happen in the past. Like, we no longer accept racist comments, we stop people from body shaming, we stop our parents and our grandparents from commenting on other people's looks and behavior. But I also feel like we've started doing really silly things like censoring the word weight or food. And I understand that some people can be sensitive to that, especially people who have suffered eating disorders and things like that. But isn't that taking it a bit too far? Like, I understand if we censor bad words or things like blood or gory images and things, but censoring words like food, I don't know. Maybe it's like I have also dealt with an eating disorder at one point in my life, but I think the more we protect ourselves from the tiniest little inconveniences, the more we become weaker, I think. Alright, everyone, thank you for listening to my thoughts and my opinions. And please don't like cuss me out in the comments, because this is my personal opinion. Everyone is entitled to one, and it's okay if you disagree with me. I just want to talk about these things, because if we don't speak up, who will, right? And if we don't put an end to things that are harming us in the long run, who will? I hope this somehow does give you some kind of awakening if you have fallen into any of these things. And it's not your fault that you have. It's society, it's social media, it's all of us. And I hope we all stay protected, and I hope we all grow more intellectual. I hope we are smarter and stronger and healthy. And yeah, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.